Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video here on the channel, and this I think will be video 3. We've got video 4 being another Banquet Event orientated video. As I said, they're going to come at you thick and fast. You may like them, you may not. The spreadsheet should be available, and hopefully once I finish work I've sent you the information for that to go and check out. But this video is all about Red Guardian. So for those that don't know, the champion is getting a little bit of a buff. So this champion right here is getting a little bit of a buff. We need to quickly look at some of the changes the champion gets. A lot of this is pretty good. The champion benefits from like quicker rotations of the Ablaptive Shield kind of explosion, and that means that, or the fracturing of the Ablaptive Shield, which basically means you're able to do more damage more frequently, rotating quickly. It will still feel a case that you might want a 200 signature the champion, but once you do, you're going to see some great numbers, and that's something that we are going to see in this particular bit of coverage. So here's the buff version that's coming, which you can see maximum durability for the Ablaptive Shield is increased by +1 for every 40 signatures, which is a thing still in game, the one that you've got on your account. And also the new thing that's added in, heavy and special attacks gain a 1506 critical rating for each unique debuff on the opponent. So if you remember, a lot of the time your rotation for the champion would be do an SP1. Look, it's up to you how you rotate the champion. I know people, in this video you're going to see the SP3, SP1, SP2 rotation, which is the tracking debuff, the slow debuff off the SP1, and then the SP2 doing the trauma. You can now rotate very easily around doing a second SP2 when the shield comes back again. Again, something we'll hopefully see in this particular video. It definitely feels to me that Kabam have done a bit of good work to improve the elements of rotation. Where the arrow is at the moment is pointing at the old signature ability, which you can see differs from the new signature ability, which has the addition of that critical rating on heavy and special. Because a lot of times when you stun the enemy and you've got those debuffs on, the trauma debuffs, if you're doing the shield punch like over and over, which you can get 2, maybe 3 rotations if you're lucky, you're able to put a nice amount of burst damage onto the enemy, and that's really effective. It's really fun, and really kind of like enjoyable so far. And that's the thing, this is a champion that is enjoyable. I think that's largely it. There's, apart from maybe some attack improvements that Kabam have put in. Yeah, and from the version it says here, it says gain 1164.5 attack rating for each unique debuff on the opponent. And the one that's on Aunt May currently, shout out to Aunt May, says that heavy attacks are, for a rank 5 6-star version, 687. So what they've done is they've beefed up the attack on the champion, so at least it kind of feels that the champion is punching harder for this. So yeah, in game as well, this is why the Ablaptive Shield is on cooldown. Charging a heavy attack grants Red Guardian a second unstoppable passive. I'm not a big fan of that rotation, but at least it's there for people to kind of like to check out. I think again that's really it. It seems to be a case it's similar in kind of build. There's just a case of like the rotations feel better, and it's been beefed up a little bit more. Again, I'm just double checking on some stuff. Oh, so it's a fragility debuff. I always thought there's a tracking debuff, but it's a fragility debuff off the SP3. Silly me, but means very little. That's really it. The more I've kind of gone over and I've checked out Aunt May for kind of like some more details, it kind of seems like it is kind of the same, if not similar, for it. Except for, as I said, the rotation on the Ablaptive Shield, especially if you've got a 200 signature version, feels like it's well, that's not the case, but maybe somewhere in this, in amongst the reading, effectively you're able to get the Ablaptive Shield up quicker, which means, as I said, you're doing more damage at higher number more frequently and having access to that, which also is really handy as a counter to unblockable, because a lot of the time you'd be waiting to get that Ablaptive Shield up to then block unblockable attacks. But differences now is it kind of feels like it's more regular. Now let's talk more action. Let's have a look at some footage. So first of all, starting off with a Thor Jane Foster test. Of course, what I'm going to do is build up my durability of part of the champion, but of course I want to see some big yellow numbers because, hey, we want to see big yellow numbers. So yeah, first of all, when it comes to this, I'm starting off with an SP1. This is very kind of light rotation, so I want to say this is not using an SP3 in any kind of shape or form. So now I'm kind of like, okay, well, hitting in, kind of building up, bringing my, refreshing my slow debuff on the enemy, probably putting in a striker just to kind of like get myself over the mark, refreshing, get my slow debuff, coming in with my SP2, boom, 58k plus the burst damage. Very nice. And that's something that, you know, again, this is really cool. Blocking unblockables. This is just a showcase of this unblockable immunity. So you can see there, like, I'm just kind of keeping that up as much as possible. And especially when it comes to situations like, okay, well, look, if you get your durability up and somebody's going to hit you with blocking unblockables, then this is handy for that as an interaction point. But of course, you know, you could find great usage for it in certain circumstances where, you know, unblockable is a bit annoying. SP3, and I'm building up to an SP2, as you can see, we're building up to an SP2 right there. Throwing an SP2, 35k, hit with an 82k, big numbers. And of course, if I then was a little bit more kind of quicker off the mark, I probably would have been able to do, you know, more damage, but that was nice. That was really nice. Of course, he's a counter for situations of unstoppable and also evade-based champions, but do bear in mind you've got to rotate around that SP1, which sometimes is difficult to kind of get to, especially if a champion is like Spider-Man, and you literally would have to kind of like take into the block a few times, build up to the SP1, then throw. So once you got there, great amount of damage. Love the rotation. I think I love the rotation more because the Ablaptive Shield, it resets quicker, and as well it's just fun because look, who doesn't like big yellow numbers, kind of like absolutely smacking champions. Got my rotation wrong there. Should have waited a little bit longer, but look, it is what it is. And again, it's down to like, I don't think I did an SP3 in that one. And again, that's just down to personal preference with it. And ending with a Rhino fight. And again, similar kind of like principle on the matter. The champion is just doing... oh, just great. SP3 for this one. Get that fragility debuff on, and then it's just a case of like, well, just get up to another, another trauma debuff, possibly. But I think this might be done by, I could go into like a parry heavy frenzy if I wanted to, but I really want to build up to another SP2 just to see some great damage numbers. So smacking this big SP2 for, there we go, 95k. Hey, it's a lot of fun. I really like this buff, and yeah, it's good to see. And that's been a video. What are your thoughts on what you've seen so far? What are your thoughts on some of the changes? Rotation's better. It's more, you know, quicker, and therefore you're able to access some really fun stuff. Thanks for watching this video. Check out some other content located on screen. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye for now.